In our previous video, we discussed three demands on cognitive processing: essential processing, extraneous processing, and generative processing. Each of these demands impacts how well learners can retain new information and are correlated with the principles of learning: dual channels, limited capacity, and active processing. Today we will look at a teaching technique aimed at fostering generative processing, the multimedia principle. By applying this principle to your teaching and to your presentations, you can help ensure that students engage in sufficient processing for meaningful learning. In line with the goal of fostering generative processing, the multimedia principle simply posits that it is better to present words and graphics together rather than just words alone. Consider the following example of how the multimedia principle can impact retention of knowledge related to the functioning of a bicycle pump. As the rod is pulled out, air passes through the piston and fills the area between the piston and the outlet valve. As the rod is pushed in, the inlet valve closes and the piston forces air through the outlet valve. Hearing that, how well do you think you could explain the functionality of a bicycle pump to a third party? Would seeing a corresponding visual help you retain this information? Let's now consider the same description with a corresponding visual to explain the process of how a bicycle pump works. As the rod is pulled out, air passes through the piston and fills the area between the piston and the outlet valve. As the rod is pushed in, the inlet valve closes and the piston forces air through the outlet valve. While this is certainly a rudimentary example, you hopefully better understand the benefits of the multimedia principle when applied to teaching. Thinking back to the principles of learning, remember that we have two primary channels for intaking new information presented via a multimedia lecture: a visual channel for processing pictorial information, and an auditory channel for processing spoken words. You might realize too that with a better image, or perhaps even an animation, the benefits of the multimedia principle could be further expanded. Additionally, as you will see in upcoming videos, by pairing the multimedia principle with other teaching techniques, you can further impact the demands of cognitive processing so that learners are more easily able to encode and retain the information you want them to. We will explore one such teaching technique in our next video, focusing on the contiguity principle. Until next time.